Let's be honest for a second. Have you ever stayed awake until 2 a.m. staring at your ceiling, just wondering, am I actually doing okay? You think about your bank account. You think about your friends. Maybe you saw someone on Instagram today. They were posing with a brand new Tesla. Or maybe they were eating a 5-course dinner in Bali. And you can't help but ask yourself, is everyone secretly rich? Or am I just falling behind? The truth is, we all feel this way. But today, we are stopping the guessing game. I'm going to pull back the curtain on the financial reality of the average person. I promise you, some of these numbers will haunt you. Others might actually give you a sense of relief. By the end of this video, you will have a crystal clear picture. You will know exactly where you stand compared to everyone else. My name is Siraz Patwari. I spend way too much time obsessing over money, investing, and building real wealth. If you want to get your financial life out of the average zone, you are in the right place. Welcome to the Siraz Patwari channel. If you find this information helpful, please hit that like button. It really helps. And if you want to join our community of people getting ahead, hit that subscribe button right now. Before we look at the numbers, let me ask you a question. When you think of an average person's money, what do you see? Do you see someone who has it all figured out? Someone who is steadily building a nest egg for the future? Or do you see someone just surviving? Someone living paycheck to paycheck and just hoping for the best? Let's be real. Most of us have no idea what normal looks like. We see shiny cars and nice houses, but we don't see the credit card statements. The reality is often much scarier than the pictures on social media. Understanding these numbers isn't just about curiosity, it is about your survival. If you wanted to lose weight, you'd want to know what a healthy weight looks like, right? Money is the same. When you know where you stand, you can make better choices. So, let's start with the big one: income. When you get that notification on your phone that your paycheck has arrived, how do you feel? Are you making more or less than the person next to you? According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the median weekly earnings for a full-time worker is just over $1,000. That is roughly $52,000 a year before taxes. Now, think about that. That is individual income, not household. And median means half of the country makes more and half makes less. If you are making $26 an hour, you are right in the middle. You are the average. But here is the funny thing about that $52,000. Uncle Sam wants his cut first. After federal taxes, state taxes, and Social Security, that money disappears fast. Depending on where you live, you might only take home $35,000 or $40,000. Suddenly, that average income feels very small. It feels like you are barely treading water. But income is only one part of the story. What really matters is what people do with that money once they get it. And this is where it gets a little depressing. Let's talk about retirement. This is where most people are in for a massive wake-up call. The Federal Reserve says the median retirement savings for Americans is about $65,000. Now, don't feel too good or too bad yet. That number includes everyone who actually has an account. But wait, here's the real kicker. About 25% of Americans have $0 saved for retirement. Zero. That means 1 out of every 4 people you walk past on the street is planning to live entirely on Social Security. They are literally hoping for a miracle. If you do have savings, let's look at the age groups. This is where you can really compare yourself. People under 25, they have less than $2,000. Okay, if you are 22 and just started, that's fine. But it shows how far behind the starting line most people are. The 25 to 34 age group has a median balance of $14,000. Think about that. These are people who have been working for 10 years. They are in the prime of their lives, and they only have $14,000 put away. That is barely enough for an emergency, let alone a retirement. By the time people hit 65, the median balance is around $88,000. Now, let's do some quick math. If you retire with $88,000 and use the famous 4% rule, do you know how much you get? You get about $3,500 a year. That is less than $300 a month. Let that sink in for a second. Could you live on $300 a month? No way. Even if your house is paid off, that won't even cover your property taxes and groceries. This is why these stats matter. If you are in your 20s or 30s, you need to have a serious talk with yourself, because the average person is clearly not saving enough to survive. Since so many people are betting their future on Social Security, Let's look at that. The average monthly check is about $1,550. That's roughly $18,600 a year. Sure, it helps, but is it enough? If you had a low-income career, your check will be even smaller. It might barely keep the lights on. This is why some people take a different path. They plan as if Social Security won't exist. They treat it like a bonus. It might sound cynical, but given the way things are going, it's probably the smartest way to think about it. Now let's talk about your daily life. Let's talk about spending. How much does an average household actually blow through every month? The numbers might shock you. It's about $5,577 per month. That's $67,000 a year. Think about that. If the average household is spending $67,000, they need a massive income just to stay at zero. This is take-home pay, remember. So, to save anything, you have to be way above that average. Where does all that money go? You guessed it. Housing. It's the biggest bill we have. The average household spends $1,885 a month just to have a place to sleep. That includes the mortgage, taxes, insurance, and the power bill. That is $22,000 a year just for a roof. If you live in a big city like New York or LA, you are probably laughing right now. $1,800 might get you a closet in those cities. It's a massive burden. Next is food. We spend about $700 a month on groceries and eating out. That's $8,000 a year just to keep the family fed. If you are spending less than that, you are actually doing a great job. Then there is transportation. This one is a wealth killer. People spend about $900 a month on their cars. That's the loan, the gas, the insurance, and the repairs. $11,000 a year just to get to work. Think about the irony. You spend $11,000 a year on a car just so you can drive to a job that pays for the car. It's a loop, and it's a loop that keeps people broke. If your housing and car take up more than 50% of your money, you are in the danger zone. Let's look at credit scores. Most people know the number, but they don't know the context. The average FICO score is 715. That is actually good. It means most people are paying their bills on time. They are trying to be responsible. But don't let that fool you. Millions are still stuck in the 500s. They are paying insane interest rates because they messed up years ago. Your credit score is the key to your financial life. It decides your house price and your car rate. Some bosses even check it before they hire you. The secret to a good score isn't complex. Pay your bills. Don't max out your cards. And for heaven's sake, stop opening new accounts just to save 10% at the mall. It's a trap. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Credit card debt. This is where the average story gets really ugly. The average household is carrying over $9,000 in credit card debt. $9,000. This isn't a mortgage. You don't own an asset. This is $9,000 spent on stuff that is probably already in a landfill. And the interest? It's brutal. We are talking 20% or 25%. If you pay 20% interest on $9,000, you are literally throwing away $1,800 a year. That is $150 a month just to exist in debt. That money could be making you rich in the stock market. Instead, it's making the bank's CEO rich. Most of this debt comes from buying things we don't need. Let's be honest with each other. It's the clothes, the gadgets, the fancy dinners we couldn't afford. The fix is simple, but it's not easy. You have to pay that balance in full every month. If you can't pay cash, you can't afford it. Period. If you have a balance right now, that is your number one enemy. Kill that debt before you do anything else. There is no point in trying to invest when you are bleeding 20% interest every month. Finally, let's talk about net worth. This is the ultimate scorecard. It's everything you own minus everything you owe. If you sold everything today and paid off all your debts, what would be left? For the average American household, that number is $122,000. But age matters here. If you are under 35, the median net worth is less than $14,000. If you are 25, that's okay. But if you are 34 and only have $14,000, you are on a dangerous path. The 35 to 44 group hits about $91,000. The 45 to 54 group gets to $168,000. These numbers are achievable. You don't need to be a genius. You don't need to win the lottery. You just need to spend less than you make. You need to invest the difference every single month. But there is a huge problem. Most people aren't doing it. The average savings rate is only 6%. Think about that. Out of every dollar earned, only 6 cents is being saved. That has to cover your next car, your house repair, and your retirement. It's just not enough. Experts say you need to save 15% just for retirement. That is on top of your other goals. If you are only at 6%, you are falling behind every single day. So, let's keep going. We were talking about saving 6% and how that just isn't enough. Now, I want to show you something that might actually keep you up at night. Let's talk about the actual age people retire. When do you think most Americans stop working? You probably guessed 65. Most people do. But the data shows something different. The average retirement age in America is actually 61. Now, at first, that sounds like a dream. Who wouldn't want to quit the rat race 4 years early? You could travel. You could spend time with the grandkids. You could finally relax. But here's the terrifying catch. You cannot collect your full Social Security benefits until you hit 67. Think about that gap. If you retire at 61, you have 6 long years to wait. How are you going to pay for your life? If your retirement savings look like those average numbers we talked about, you are in big trouble. We saw that the median savings for people over 65 is only $88,000. That is not enough to cover 6 years of living, not even close. You would be entering retirement already in a financial crisis. You would be struggling from day one, and that is not what retirement is supposed to be. Let's look at the math another way. Imagine you start working at 22. You work all the way until you are 61. That is 39 years of your life. Nearly 4 decades of waking up early. 4 decades of sitting in traffic. You dealt with bosses you didn't like. You sat through meetings that could have been emails. You did everything you were told to do. And after all that sacrifice, you retire with $88,000. Like we said, that only gives you about $300 a month to live on. Does that sound like a win to you? Because to me, it sounds like a raw deal. It sounds like you spent your whole life building someone else's dream and ended up with nothing for yourself. It is a life of stress and very limited choices. But it gets even more intense. The Social Security Administration says that if you reach 65, you will probably live another 20 years. If you retire at 61, you might have 25 or 30 years of retirement to fund. That is a massive amount of time. It is longer than most people's entire education. It is nearly as long as your whole career. And here is the question that should really make you think. How many of those 25 years will you actually be healthy? At 61, you might still feel great. You can hike, you can play golf. But what about at 75? What about at 85? Time catches up with everyone. The things you can do at 61 are not the things you can do at 80. If you don't have the money to pay for help or good health care, those years will be very hard. This is why these numbers matter so much. This isn't just a boring lecture. This is about your freedom. This is about your dignity. The average person's approach to money simply is not working. When the typical American has less than $90,000 for retirement, but carries $9,000 in credit card debt, the system is broken. The math does not add up. But here is the good news. This is exactly why I am sharing these numbers with you. Once you know what average looks like, you can decide to be different. You can choose to step away from the crowd. And the best part, doing better than average does not require a secret formula. You don't need a PhD in finance. You don't need to be a Wall Street genius. If you save more than 6% of your income, you are already winning. If you refuse to carry a balance on your credit card, you are way ahead of the pack. If you understand what you are investing in, you are doing better than most. If you just put a little bit of money into your retirement account every single month, you are lapping the competition. Most of these average numbers are actually very easy to beat. You just have to be intentional. You don't need a 6-figure salary to be wealthy. You don't need a rich uncle to leave you a fortune. You just need to care about your money more than the average person does. And honestly, that is a very low bar to clear. Think about it this way. The average household spends over $5,500 a month. What if you figured out how to live on $4,500? What if you decided that you didn't need the newest car or the biggest house? You just freed up $12,000 a year for your future. If you do that for 20 or 30 years, You will be in a completely different world than your neighbors. You will have options they can only dream of. You will have total security while they have total stress. It is all about the compound effect. If you beat the average by just a little bit in a few areas, it adds up to a massive difference over time. If you earn a little more, save a little more, and avoid debt, you won't retire with $88,000. You will retire with millions. You will have a life that was actually worth the work. But why don't more people do this? It is the gap. It is the gap between what people say they want and what they actually do. Everyone says they want to be rich. Everyone says they want to stop worrying about bills, but their behavior tells a different story. They say they want freedom, but then they buy a truck they can't afford. They say they want a comfortable retirement, but then they spend their whole paycheck on clothes and dinners. Why? Maybe it's because they don't know the numbers. They assume everyone else has it figured out, so they don't feel any pressure to change. Or maybe they think it's too late. They think the mountain is too high to climb. If you are watching this and you feel a bit behind, please do not panic. The fact that you are here, learning this, is a huge sign of success. Most people never even look at their net worth. They never check their credit score until it's too late. You are already ahead because you are paying attention. Use these numbers as fuel. Use them as motivation to change your habits starting today. If you are 35 and your net worth is low, it's okay. You still have 30 years of compound interest waiting for you. And if you are already doing better than these averages, don't get lazy. Maybe you have a great credit score, but you aren't investing enough. Or maybe you are saving money, but it's just sitting in a bank account earning nothing. You need to put that money to work. You need to make your money your employee. These statistics should be eye-opening, but they should also be empowering. When you know what normal is, you can choose to be extraordinary. I think you deserve better than an average life. I think you deserve more than just surviving until 61 and hoping for the best. You deserve the peace of mind that comes with being debt-free. You deserve the freedom to spend your time however you want. You are already ahead because you are paying attention. Use these numbers as fuel. Use them as motivation to change your habits starting today. If you are 35 and your net worth is low, it's okay. You still have 30 years of compound interest waiting for you. And if you are already doing better than these averages, don't get lazy. Maybe you have a great credit score, but you aren't investing enough. Or maybe you are saving money, but it's just sitting in a bank account earning nothing. You need to put that money to work. You need to make your money your employee. These statistics should be eye-opening, but they should also be empowering. When you know what normal is, you can choose to be extraordinary. I think you deserve better than an average life. I think you deserve more than just surviving until 61 and hoping for the best. You deserve the peace of mind that comes with being debt-free. You deserve the freedom to spend your time however you want. These statistics show where the average person ends up, but they do not define you. You are the one in the driver's seat. So, what are the actual steps to get ahead? First, you have to track your money. You can't fix what you don't see. Get an app or use a simple notebook. Write down every single dollar that leaves your pocket. You will be shocked at how much you are wasting on things that don't even make you happy. Second, you need an emergency fund. This is your wall of protection. Aim for 3 to 6 months of expenses. When life happens, and it will happen, you won't have to go into debt to fix it. Third, you have to kill your high-interest debt. If you have a credit card balance, treat it like your house is on fire. Pay it off as fast as you can. It is the best investment you will ever make. Fourth, you have to automate your savings. Don't wait until the end of the month to see what is left. There will never be anything left. Have the money taken out of your check before you even see it. If you don't see it, you won't miss it. Finally, you have to invest for the long term. Don't try to get rich overnight. Don't gamble on meme stocks or crypto if you don't know what you're doing. Just buy low-cost index funds and let them grow for decades. This is how real wealth is built. It isn't sexy, it isn't fast, but it works every single time. Imagine the impact of these small changes. If you save just $200 more a month and invest it, in 30 years you could have over $200,000 extra. That is life-changing money. It all comes down to your habits. It's about consistency. You don't need to make massive sacrifices today to have a massive result tomorrow. You just need discipline. You need to stop caring about what other people think. Wealth is not about the car you drive. It's not about the labels on your clothes. True wealth is freedom. It is the ability to wake up and do whatever you want. The average person is focused on looking rich. They want the status. They want the approval of strangers. You are going to be different. You are going to focus on actually being wealthy. You are going to focus on long-term security. This path is not always popular. People might ask why you still drive an old car. They might wonder why you don't go out to expensive dinners every night. But you will have the last laugh. You will have a life without fear. You will have a retirement that is full of joy, not stress. Think about your goals right now. What does financial freedom mean to you? Is it being able to quit a job you hate? Is it traveling the world with your partner? Is it being able to help your kids out without worrying about your own bills? Keep that vision in your head. Let it be the reason you say no to things you don't need today. You have so much potential. You can break the cycle of being average. As we wrap this up, I want to say thank you. Thank you for spending your time with me today. I know money can be a heavy topic, but you are taking the right steps. If you found this helpful, please give the video a thumbs up. It really helps me reach more people who need to hear this message. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the Siraz Patwari channel. We talk about money, wealth, and mindset every week. I want to be here to help you on your journey to success. Remember, your financial future is in your hands. No one else is going to do this for you. Your boss won't do it, the government won't do it. You have to take charge. Start today. Make one small change. Then make another. Before you know it, you will be miles ahead of the average person. You will be building a legacy for yourself and the people you love. Thank you for being part of this community. I truly appreciate your support. My name is Siraz Patwari, and I will see you in the next video. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep pushing for that better future. Your future self is going to thank you for the work you are doing right now. Stay smart with your money and stay focused on what matters. The road to wealth is a marathon, but every step counts. Take that first step today. Good luck, and I'll see you soon. That's it for today's deep dive. I hope these numbers gave you the wake-up call or the encouragement you needed. Don't forget to check out the other videos on my channel for more tips on how to beat the average and build real wealth. Until next time, I'm Siraz Patwari. Take care of your money, and it will take care of you. Goodbye.